It was a master stroke by the captain, Raymond, in a pressure situation to hand the ball to one of our most experienced players. New Zealand needed 6 runs off the last over with 3 wickets in hand, and she handed the ball to Dottin.
Yeah, Kurt, that's what you expect from captains. That's what you expect.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, your channel of undiluted sports content. Raymond and I are here to discuss the most recent concluded match between West Indies and New Zealand. This is the first match of the ICC Women's World Cup, and we're extremely excited for the West Indies for pulling off an exciting victory. Raymond, going into this first match, the stats were against the West Indies. Playing against New Zealand at home, New Zealand leading on head-to-head 4-1. They have lost only one of their last 6 matches. This is in New Zealand. And I mean, going into this, everything was against the West Indies, but come at the hour, come at the team, the big team.
Yeah, Kurt. The West Indies women won when where it was needed to happen the most in the World Cup. So, pressure situation, they rose to the occasion and was able to overcome the New Zealand team. As I said, they won when it matters the most, and in this World Cup, that's where it matters.
I mean, New Zealand won the toss and chose to bowl first, and apparently that is their default position. They chase down any score that they're given. The West Indies batting, Dottins and Matthews opened the batting, and Dottin started off really aggressive, 3 4s in her 7 ball before she was dismissed. Matthews continued 119 of 128 balls, on her highest individual score in a ODI, leading from start to finish. West Indies, there are contributions from the captain Taylor, 30 of 47, Campbell, 20 of 38, Nation, 36 of 46 balls. West Indies closing at 259 for 9, their highest score against New Zealand as well.
Yeah, Kurt, what is important, kudos to Dutton and Matthews. That partnership was excellent. And Matthews for hitting, such, excellent strike rate and putting up 119. And Taylor and the other Taylor kind of chip in to push the score to 259. But what was important to me is that the West Indies female team actually battled that 50 overs, which is something that's trying. And we know how hard it is
Yes.
for teams to do that. And so that is impressive. But first, and was able to battle the 50 overs and just putting up such a good score.
I mean, what I was also impressed with, Raymond, in addition to them batting out the 50 overs, the running between the wicket was excellent. I mean, the shot selections also were excellent, and you can see that the players had a plan and they were working towards that plan. There wasn't any real butter pan catch being played, which is unusual for a West Indies team. What do you think?
Kurt, you hit the nail on the head. Just to give persons an idea around this, framing this argument, West Indies female team hit 32 fours, right? So clearly no batter pan catch. 32 fours and only 1 6 on their way to 259. So you weren't going to get any catch off of them so easy because they're not hitting for the boundary in the air at all. 32 fours. So that meant that 134 runs was put up by hitting the ball to the boundary, and most of it by 4. So where the rest of the runs came from? The rest of the runs came from running between the wickets. West Indies scored pretty much 125 runs, less extras, by running between the wickets, which is exceptional. The females, hold their own, and clearly from a mental standpoint, took excellent shot selection. There was no chance of getting much catch on the boundary, so to speak.
And I mean, as I mentioned before, the stats were against them 259 for 9 of their 50 overs. And as you mentioned, running a lot between the wickets, that was extremely impressive. I mean, when the New Zealanders chased Raymond, they put up an excellent fight. I mean, they're at home. They're one of the seeded teams. They're one of the favorites for the competition. 256 all out of 49 overs and 5 balls. Divine put in a captain's performance, 108, and she tried desperately to pull it away from the West Indies. And we saw Martin and Kerr at the end putting on some power hitting, 44 off 47 and 25 off 21. Strike rate over 100 and close to 100 respectively. They tried desperately to pull it away from the West Indies, but that 0.5 overs, right? Come at the hour, the captain pull off a master stroke by giving the final over to one of our most experienced player. Datin, and to put it in perspective, Datin hasn't bowled in like 3 years, right? And she came on 6 runs needed off 6 balls, 3 wickets in hand. Everything was in favor of New Zealand winning the match, but Datin had other ideas.
Yeah, Kirk, in a pressure cooking situation like that, the captain had to make a executive decision and gave the ball to the most experienced player, one of our most experienced player, Datin. No, Datin bowling was exceptional. You just can't just imagine 6 runs off 6 balls. Easy, right? Just push around a couple balls.
Extremely easy.
And put pressure on the bowler and stuff like that. But that wasn't the case. Datin bowled perfectly, putting some serious pressure on the New Zealand. And then took 2 wickets within that spell. Taking 2 wickets within that spell, you can just imagine how much of a pressure that was on the New Zealand now to actually try and win the game. And it wasn't to be. Datin was totally in charge and finished the New Zealanders off, having them falling short of the 259 by just 3 runs. And some discipline there, because it could have gotten away from them from an extra standpoint. Limit themselves to 13 extras, which is also good. So the female bowlers were exceptionally well and disciplined, if you ask me. A lot of the wickets also came from bowling. So when you're talking about clean stump bowling and LB, a lot of them only few catches. So that told you the type of bowling attack West Indies female team has.
And I mean, if you look at the rest of the bowlers, Hayley Matthews coming back after 100. Today was just a perfect day for her. 10 overs, 2 wickets for 41 runs, 1 maiden. I mean, you couldn't ask for more from one of your players.
Yeah, Kirk, and it's the opener. It's the opening game of the tournament, and this is the response, which is good. Normally, West Indies tend to be like a slow team and who probably lose the first game and get it together in the others. But to come and hit the ground running is something that we have to give God thanks for, and actually give total credit to the females keeping their head and executing in the manner that they have.
I mean, I can't say enough about that last over. Many times West Indies find themselves in a situation like this and them lose. And to see that them actually pull it off, New Zealand leading 6 and we bowled only 5 balls, 2 runs off the 6 and 3 wickets. Though it said 2 wickets for that thing, there was a run out. So 3 wickets in the last over for 2 runs. I mean, that was an excellent performance by Datin and an excellent performance by the team overall. Mohammed, the vice captain, chipping in with 2 for 60 off her 10, 2 important wickets at that. And it was an excellent all-round performance by the batting team as well as the bowlers. I mean, how you feel?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. As I said, normally West Indies don't get it together in the first game. They tend to actually improve as the tournament goes on. And to see them do this in the first game, this pressurized situation, That is exceptional. And normally also West Indies it would be easier if West Indies had like 6 runs and 6 ball from a batting perspective, but normally from a bowling perspective, it's hard to contain. And to see the females do that, it really touches me. It really does.
So we're looking for exciting things for the rest of the tournament. I mean, we're not going to hang our hats too high, but just one game at a time. And Raymond, at this moment, we want to pause and just send condolences to Shane Warne and the Australian cricketing family and Shane Warne's family and the passing of the legend, Shane Warne, a legend of the game. We heard of his sudden past and we're extremely saddened by such a situation. So we want to send condolences from the Sports DTM family to the Cricket Australia family and Shane Warne family at this time as they grieve the passing. Fans out there, West Indies winning the first match in this ICC World Cup by 3 wickets. A nail-biting finish, but West Indies pull it off and we're extremely happy. Let us hear from you. What's your thoughts on the performance of the girls in New Zealand as they close in on the first match, winning on top of the table, although it's the first match of the tournament, them on top of the table, and we're extremely excited. Leave all those comments in the comment section below, and always remember to like, to share, and to subscribe, and to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell all of them friends to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Raymond and I signing out. Be blessed.